If you visit the American Museum of Natural History in New York City, one of the first things you will encounter once you enter its cathedral-like lobby is the fossil skeleton of a giant sauropod called Barosaurus. Rearing up on its hind legs in a threatening display, the scene being illustrated for us is one of this massive giant preparing to defend itself from an attack. An attack from what might have been the Jurassic's most formidable predator, Allosaurus. Like Stegosaurus or Tyrannosaurus, Allosaurus is one of the best known and most popular dinosaurs of any generation, which is why I've decided that it would be a fitting next entry in this series. Allosaurus were giant carnivorous theropods that populated the late Jurassic period about 155 million to 145 million years ago. Its fossils, like Stegosaurus, were found in the Morrison Formation in Colorado, and were originally described, again like Stegosaurus, by Othniel Charles Marsh in 1877. At 32 feet long and weighing roughly 3 tons, this was the T-Rex before there was even such a thing as Tyrannosaurus. But unlike Tyrannosaurus Rex, Allosaurus weren't the only giant theropods that held dominion over their time. They faced competition from other late Jurassic beasts such as Torvosaurus, Ceratosaurus, and even a monster previously thought to be a separate species of Allosaurus, Saurophaganax, that might have grown to a length of 40 feet. Taking all of this into consideration, it's hard to determine if Allosaurus were the apex predators of their day. But one thing we do know is that they were well equipped to do what they did best: catch and devour other dinosaurs. As of 2020, there are 3 recognized species of Allosaurus: Allosaurus fragilis, Allosaurus chumadsoni, and Allosaurus europaeus, of which I believe there is only a fragmentary skull and may be reevaluated in the future. For my illustration, I'll be using A. fragilis, as it is the most common. After spending much time in research, this is what I've come up with. Now, I always like to indulge in a little speculation with my reconstructions of dinosaurs. So let's address the more highly speculative things first. I gave my Allosaurus a wattle. This I got from looking at large birds like the cassowary. But after I did this, I realized the thing about the cassowary is that despite being one of the most dangerous birds alive today, it's a herbivore. Carnivorous birds like eagles, hawks, and owls don't have wattles, as this would probably interfere with their ability to catch prey. So a wattle on an Allosaurus is probably not that practical. On the forearms, you can see that I've added a few quills. This is based on the evidence of quill knobs found on the ulna bones of Concavinator, a distant relative of Allosaurus. However, Allosaurus is much more primitive than Concavinator, and as far as I know, the same quill knobs have not been found on the ulna of an Allosaurus specimen. I don't think it's entirely out of the picture, but like the wattle, it's still highly speculative. Lips or no lips? This is one of the biggest and most annoying arguments in modern paleo reconstruction. I frankly don't care one way or the other, but there is a lot of evidence pointing to lips, so I've included them on my Allosaurus. Now, if you use your face to murder and devour a kicking and screaming prey item, odds are you're going to get pretty messed up. Such injuries to the face of modern predators are a good indicator of what the face of some prehistoric predators might look like. Also, there is evidence that theropods might have engaged in a really disturbing practice of face biting, so ragged lips would have most likely been a thing. And that concludes part 2, Allosaurus. If you like what you saw, think about subscribing to this channel. If any paleo artists are watching, let me know what you think in the comments. The museum I'd like to recommend in this episode is the American Museum of Natural History in New York City. It's possibly the largest natural history museum in the world, and there is such a rich history of paleontology contained in its walls. Its dinosaur collection is located on the top floor and exhibits some of the most famous fossil skeletons that you are certain to recognize from a multitude of dinosaur programs and books. For a dinosaur nut like me, it's almost a religious experience getting to step into these great halls. That's all for now. I'll see you next time.